just wish I could remember all the time. Because it's so easy to forget and to let those boundaries disappear or be leaky or be intruded upon. So this morning, I choose to remember, alone and together, what it is to be in the space with heart wide open. However that heart may be feeling, it may be a joyful heart. Hey, we're back in the circle, in live and in person, and I get to play with Ray Palmer and the band again, yay! Or it may not be so joyful. You may be in a place of grieving, of dealing with a recent loss, or dealing with the truth of a difficult diagnosis. You may be feeling really good and connected to all of creation, then all of a sudden somebody next to you sneezes on you and you don't know whether they have it or not. Right? Am I going to die or not? It used to be just a sneeze and a bad thing, right? Unhealthy and gross. Now it's, am I going to die? And that's real. I just came earlier this morning. I was the closing keynote speaker at the Texas Festival and Event Court Association. People who coordinate fairs and festivals all over the state. We're there for a conference this weekend, and usually they talk about the newest technology for selling tickets, or the logistics of attracting new sponsors. But this year, the dominant theme at the festival was security. How to protect yourself from mass shooting. How to make sure everybody stays appropriate social distance when there is no social distance in a crowd, or is there? And make sure that people who want to have their distance respected, have the whole conference, not the whole conference, they still sold tickets and they still talked about clowns and rodeos and music too. But the predominant concern of the weekend I heard from a number of different people was security. How do we keep ourselves and our business safe? And it's also become a thing for us. I mean, I know there are a couple of you in this room at this moment who have compromised immune systems and are wearing your mask and are still daring to be in public, and you're walking a fine line everywhere you go, everywhere we go. Is it safe to go without my mask? Can I be hugged by this person? Does it matter? Well, yes, it matters, or I think it is, depending on what whoever said this week, whichever agency weighed in this week, what is our alert status? And so again and again, I am, you are, we are invited to sink back into in our hearts, and one step at a time, move into a place of being open and receptive, not just to myself, but to you, and to the higher good coming through. To move past the concerns of the headlines and the voices of doom and gloom that are all around. Climate change conference, never mind, don't start on that. Where we agree to do something someday, about something which is probably going to be dangerous sometime. Really? But anyway, all of those are outer concerns, and time again we're invited to take a step-by-step process and move inside. And to help me do that, I wrote a little song about it. And so I'm going to sing it, and I'll talk a little bit more about it because I get to play with these guys. A little private joke just passed between me and the keyboard player. One step at a time, one step at a time, knowing I can be again. One step at a time, one step at a time, may I have the courage to take it. May I have the courage to release the past, letting go of worry, truly trust in life at last. my shadow. Say farewell to shame, knowing I am healed by grace, never be the same. One step at a time, one step at a time, knowing I can make it. One step at a time, one step at a time. May I have the wisdom to take it. May I greet this morning with a grateful heart. Go to sleep each evening, knowing I have done my part to make this world a more peaceful place. Did my very best to share the many gifts of grace with which I have been richly blessed. Oh, great Spirit, may sing it with me, feel it with me, one step at a time. Here we go now, one step at a time. One step at a, knowing I can make it, knowing I can make it. One step at a time, one step at a time. May I have the wisdom to take it. One last time, one step at a time. One step at a time, may I have the courage to take it. I sang that as a way of saying, okay, so this is a little four-step process I'm going to share with you. You may or may not believe it, you may or may not receive it, but I feel guided to speak it. So, right now we're feeling relaxed and comfortable, feeling great. Listen to music or being with friends. But I invite you to, in the comfort of this room, having softened you up with music and a little sing-along, I invite you to dare to think of a challenge in your life. Current, something that you're currently dealing with. And it may be something as simple as, how do I know when to wear a mask? Or it may be as complex as, I don't know, you know the complexities of your challenge. And just be willing to face into that together with us. We're safe in this room. Nothing will happen to you. It's just a mental exercise of traveling from the head to the heart with our challenge. So everybody got a challenge that you're willing or considering working with? And if your mind suddenly is flooded with 3 or 4 or 5 challenges, God bless you. But just go ahead and choose one for the purpose of this exercise. And take a moment to feel that even as you think of it, there's entirely possible that your breath kind of got a little shallower and that your stomach kind of tightened up a little bit. Just thinking about it, that's what happens when we get into a stress mode. Our breath gets shallower and faster. We tend to tighten in the solar plexus, that place of power, the power chakra. But just for this moment, feel the challenge just the way it is. and feel the feelings connected with the challenge. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a financial, whatever it is. See if you can conjure up an image or a word that represents that challenge for you. And feel what it's like to have that challenge in your life. And just for this moment, be willing to feel that challenge and be aware of it, and any people that might be involved, any location that might be specific to it, sensation. And now slowly breathe into that word, into that thought, into that challenging thought form, sensation. Just slowly, gently let your breath get softer and longer. Don't worry about how to do it. Just intend to breathe into the challenge. To breathe into the awareness that you are not alone. As terrifying and alone as it may often feel when that challenge comes up, you are not alone. That spirit, life, infinite intelligence is with you. God, the divine light, whatever you choose to call it. Simply open into the awareness that you are not alone with your challenge and your suffering. That you don't have to hold it tight. You can hold it lightly right in front of you where you can see it, and feel it, and accept it for just what it is. Not as something that controls your life or limits your life in any way, but it's something that's out there, separate from you who are in here, with the indwelling Christ, the divine light. Or as my friend likes to refer to him, Bob, is here with you. And as you accept that, feel your willingness to let go of your tight hold on this challenge as being something that you own, or something that owns you. And just be with it, without needing to fix or change a single thing except your reaction to it, by coming to a place of peace. From the top of your head to the tip of your toes, simply allow yourself to be in the presence of this challenge without reacting with anything but that love, that inner spaciousness and graciousness that comes as you simply focus on a slow, quiet breath. Focus on letting go of any attraction or contraction or distraction. Just come back to this place of peace. All right, and then simply let go of that. Come back to this moment, this room, eyes open, eyes closed. Just come back and feel yourself in this chair. And I'd say, well, Rudi, that was interesting. I feel a little more peaceful. I can feel the energy in the room, settled. I didn't see anybody breathing shallowly in their chest as I scanned the room. But you might say, well, Rudi, yeah, that's okay. Here this morning, I've been listening to the Circle Band Jam where I'm with loving folks. This is a safe space. But what about when that challenge comes back? When I'm home? It's exactly the same process. we're training for it here. That's all. And then when you go home, you can keep practicing the same process over and over. As when you find yourself all caught up with your panties in a bunch and your hands, your body all hunched over in anger, can you just say, oh, here I am again, all contracted in the face of my challenge, thinking that it controls my life, thinking that I'm a victim of circumstances, thinking that my boss or that neighbor or that disease or that inconsiderate non-mask wearer who's up close to me is... Can you feel exactly the same thing? That's the question. That's the process. That's why we gather together here and do this drill. So that when you come home and you're dealing with your family member or a neighbor or a life situation, this relaxation muscle, this opening and softening process can kick in. When he was in high school, my son was on the swim team, and his specialty was swimming the 50 meter and 100 meter. He was a sprinter, and those events took about a minute. The 100-yard took a minute and a half, I guess. I forget the time. It was short. You had to be right there watching, or you'd miss that event that you'd spent the whole day waiting for at the swim meet. But the point is that he and his teammates were in the pool every morning, 6:30 a.m. for an hour and a half, swimming before school, Monday through Friday. And on Saturdays, they'd swim longer sessions. They swam hour upon hour upon hour, stroke after stroke. And then they went to a meet. Well, actually, I think they went to only 8 meets the whole year. So he swam competitively for, 20 minutes. But he had put in those hour after hour, lap after lap, month after month, so that he could be in shape that when the starter gun went off, he could compete as well as possible. The same way. That's why it's important. That's why I remind myself, as I remind you, the power of practicing this process of meditation, and actively meditating in the process of whatever is challenging you at the moment, financial, physical, emotional, personal. Take time each day, separate from the trigger itself, ideally, in the quiet of your own home, and in an altar or in your favorite chair, or just standing out in the yard. Take a minute to bring up the challenge, feel it, think about it, and then feel your willingness to breathe into it and turn it over to spirit, and to come from a place of creation, not reaction, of being actively a part of co-creating a solution, a way forward, rather than living in contraction at the effect of the challenge. Is that easy to do? No. Is it simple to do? Yes. It's as simple as slowing your breath now. You and I work optimally when our body is breathing 5.5 times a minute. That's the optimal breath pattern for the brain, heart, and bodily organs to align and perform at their maximum efficiency 6 times a minute. And most of us, in the course of daily life, particularly if we're checking our phone or doing things, multitasking, we're breathing 10 to 12, 15 times a minute. Very shallow, not much oxygen getting to the brain. As you consciously work on calming your breath and getting to that optimal rate of 5.5 breaths a minute, which is basically counting to 5 as you inhale and counting to 5 as you exhale. Watch any sleeping baby anywhere in the world. I don't care how rich or poor they are, whether it's in America or Taiwan or Australia. Watch a sleeping baby, and a healthy, sleepy baby is breathing 6 times a minute. Because its body knows it's got nothing to do at that moment but to breathe and to grow. That's all it's got to do. But it's the same as true for you and me as adults. That's really all we're here to do, is to breathe and grow. We're not here to multitask and fix the world and change our COVID policy and make sure that climate change doesn't happen. No, we're here to breathe and grow in love and to see that truly there is no boundary between you and me. You and me. Me and whoever that guy is over there that was making me mad earlier. No. At least that's my story, but I'm sticking to it.